Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Made with Love. My name is Heather, and as you can tell, today I'm in a different area of my house. I'm in my family room, great room area. I do my craft room to do this, but I needed a little more surface. I've got crafts started for Christmas already. I've got Christmas presents in there. So my craft room is just a big storage room at the moment. So I'm out here while I just do the intro to this video to show you what I've been working on. Before we get started, I want to read my shirt. I know it's probably going to be backwards. I will turn the camera so you can see it. I got this shirt the other day at Dollarama. The pricing is going up to $5, so I got the shirt for $4.50. Still a good price for a shirt, but last year it was only $2, now it's to $4.50, so it's quite a big jump. But it says today my blood type is pumpkin spice. So I thought it was a good fall shirt that I can wear from September right through till December when Starbucks brings out the peppermint and mocha and candy cane and eggnog flavored lattes. So for now it's just pumpkin spice everything. So I just want to say in this room. I will be in my craft room when I'm actually crafting, but I just wanted to show you what I've been working on or some ideas of things I've done in the past that I'm going to be redoing, but not really needing to do a lot of work on. And the first one is this cute little wreath I made. I think I made it about 4 years ago. It was one of my first wreaths. I was just learning how to do the different types of wreaths. Very simple. It's a willow wreath form, and it's the turkey form both from Dollar Tree. And then the little turkey, I just painted him brown, his leg yellow, and his beak red and yellow, whatever this little thing is that's on him, I forget what it's called. Painted that red, just a little googly eye. And then I just had the little burlap leaves, I just glued them on, and the little word harvest. And then these were just little bits of, it was actually just leftover deco mesh I had from a bigger project I had made. And I don't know how many little bundles, but I just made up a couple little bundles, and there we go. Just a very simple, easy wreath. It was like, this would be my second wreath that I have ever made. Maybe it was 3 years ago. I'm kind of hard to remember how long I've been making wreaths for. Sorry, I just dropped my next one that I had made. So this one I'm going to be taking apart and redoing because it is falling apart. This I was really impressed with when I actually made this. I'm just going to move this one piece of paper off, and I'm just going to flip it to the back. So what this really is it is just 3 splatter mats. 2, the handles are facing down and bent, so they've got to stand. And the third one is sitting upright, so you got the stem of the pumpkin. And then all I did was just cut out construction paper, not even anything fancy. Actually, this one looks like it's double-sided, double-colored construction paper. I don't know, or scrapbook paper, construction paper. So I got orange, and then all I did was just around the sides, I just glued on the leaves and a little bit of orange bling wrap. And then to make the stem, I just used, you can see it's just twine, and then I have this 3 colors of ribbon that I just kind of untwisted parts of it and just kind of stuck it out so you get the shape of the pumpkin. This one I know I made quite a few years ago. This I think was like 4 or 5 years ago when I made this one. So I'm gonna fix this year, so I'll show you how I do it. But just in case I don't get to it this year, I'm just gonna show you how easy it is to make anything. If you can make your pumpkins out of anything. This was 3 splatter mats. And then I've got this other 2 little people I made. So these are my pumpkin people. I've got a little boy and a little girl. They need to be restuffed and fixed, and they're losing their arms and legs. So these I will be redoing later today, so I'll show you how I have actually made them. So their heads are just those cheap pumpkins from the dollar store. As you can see, it still has the little stem on there, and it's just a metal coat hanger And I will take these apart and show you how they're made so I can redo them. And they're losing, I hear stuff falling, so he lost something. Okay, and then the other things I have made was, these are now totally come apart, but I made two little cute little wagons. So these are just the brownie pans, spray painted red, and I've touched them up over the years. You can see how many years I've used these for. And then the wheels, this is what, I can only do one today. I'm short a wheel, but to make the wheels, all it is the canning jar lids, painted black. I used a really shiny black, I don't know what color, I think it might have been, oh, what is it? Oh, Trem Clad. I think that's actually what I used, was actually the Trem Clad. And it's just a white reinforcement in the center to make it look like the wagon wheels. And then to make the handles, these, believe it or not, used to be those pom-poms. You get them in packs of 2 at the dollar store for about $1.50, $2, somewhere around there. And so they had just the pink, and these ones were pink and silver metal tassels for the pom-poms. And I cut the tassel stuff off. I use them for something else, and it gives me the perfect handle. I'll show you. So if you just glue it here, it gives you the perfect handle. And then the little wheels, and it looks so cute when they are sitting upright. And I've put pumpkins or apples in them for different things, or for different seasons. I'll just kind of redo them. So I will be making one of these, finishing, I can't even speak. I will be fixing the one today. The one I'll have to wait because I'm short a canning lid. I'm not even sure where my new canning lids are at the moment. And then I'm just gonna move this stuff. I'm just gonna move my camera down so you can see a little better. All right, so this is my bucket of pumpkins. So I've got a bunch of these pumpkins from the dollar store that I've gotten over the years. I haven't bought any this year or last year. These are just other ones I've had from previous years. I think I have about 7. So yeah, I've got 7 of them. So I've got 7 different ways I'm going to style these up today. And then I'll just keep showing my other pumpkins. Now this happened, and I don't know why it's got these brown spots, but it makes the pumpkin actually look a little more real. Even though it's these cheap pumpkins from the dollar store, I don't know what fell into it or stained it, but it's starting to look a little more realistic with those spots for some reason. Then I've got a whole bunch of other pumpkins here that I've had over the years. This one I can see by the price tag, so I paid probably $2 at Dollarama. This one, I don't know, Dollar Tree, Dollarama, I don't know. And I got a couple of these ones that have the LED light that lights up. So I'm just trying to figure out what colors of pumpkins I've got. So I got some of these velvety ones. These were from Dollar Tree, I think 2 years ago. I don't think I bought any last year. I think these are all older ones. So I've got some more of the velvet ones. I think what I did is I bought one of each color of the velvet ones. So I got another one of these black ones. I got some of the burlap looking ones. Some more burlap. And some more of the glitter ones. It looks like I've got like one of each color that they have. Push these to the side. I got some more smaller ones. See, these I feel like I got these in a set. I'm just gonna pull all these different pumpkins out just so I can see what I've got to work with. Got these ones. They look like they're glass. I don't know. There's some type of a clay substance thing. They sound like glass, but I don't think they are glass. And then I do actually have some that are glass. I bought them because I was going to paint them, but I never got around to painting them. I'm just going to leave them this color again this year. I kind of like the way that they look, the colors on them. So I'm not going to paint them this year. And then I have these ones here, and these are actually the salt and pepper shakers. So they actually just sit on my table, but when I'm putting the stuff away, they get put in with my pumpkins because I have used these just as decor with my pumpkins. See, I've got a whole bunch of these. These were these different bags that I buy from the dollar store. You get various sizes and colors. some more of the orange and copper, and there's the gold ones. And then some more of these more realistic looking, colorful things. They would have all come in different packages. Just trying to get these out of the way so I can get to the small ones. See, I got these. They're different sizes, so I think each size came in a different number per package. I would have bought a couple packages of those. And then of course I got some of these, the glitter ones. I got some purple and some orange. And I've got a couple of that will work. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Little light up ones that you're actually supposed to put these in. You're supposed to put these actually in your pumpkin. It's a safer alternative to burning candles. So I can't tell if they're going or if they are just, you know, not going to work. I think they might be dead, but I don't think there's any way that you can change the batteries. There's no screw compartment. Sometimes there is a way to replace the lights. These look like they've been used up, so but they're still really cute little pumpkins to just sit in the decor. So that is my pumpkins that I have, and as you can see, I still got more in this box. So I will just gonna go and get these put back in here, and then I'm going to be in my craft room, and I'm going to start with these foam pumpkins with a few different ideas I have to cover them so they look nicer and they'll fit better with my decor. So I'll be back in. Alright, so now I'm back in my craft room. I'm gonna actually start making these little pumpkins using stuff I have around the house. One thing is I have these little feather boas things, or these faux feather boas. They're from, I think they're originally from the dollar store. I got them at a secondhand shop, and I knew I wanted to do something with these. I do want to keep some because I think it'd be fun. I have an idea for something else I want to make with these, but I'm just wondering if they'll see how many times I'd have to wrap this and see how many I would have to use. I probably have to use 3 to cover one of these pumpkins. So I'm not using the boa for the pumpkins, although they would make really good pumpkins covered. If I just wrap it around my finger or just around my hand, even just that looks like a pretty good pumpkin. Although I've got another idea for these, but this was just stuff I was going through trying to figure out what I wanted to cover these pumpkins with. I was gonna do these, but I know I've got something a lot better, so I just gotta move. Oops, just dropping everything on the floor now, of course. My craft room is so piled up with stuff. I touch something, boxes and bags are gonna fall. I've got lace, and so I really want to make one covered in the lace, but obviously I'm not going to spend the time to paint this. This is these are cheap, $1.25, maybe $1.50 now, so I'm not going to waste my painting these. I've seen some people, you know, want to, you know, put Mod Podge or gesso or something just because it is styrofoam, and you spray paint or use chalk paint or something on here. For me, it's not worth my time to do that. I mean, I'd love to do the lace with the orange. That might look, so that might look okay. I'll play around with the lace and see what other ideas I have for the lace. But I do want to make one kind of in the lacy pattern. I have this piece of material here. I got this at a secondhand store. I paid 25 cents for it. It feels, I don't know, it's plasticky, hard to feel. It's like a heavy shower curtain kind of a thing. I haven't done anything with it. I didn't realize it, but it has a big X cut out in the middle of it. But I was just wondering if I had enough here to, maybe I will cover one of these with this. I think it will give it a nice, you know, color. And then I might do strips of this, and I might see how, maybe I can get 2 covered in this and then put the lace over top. Let's see. This is what I mean. You're just kind of getting ideas and you're just looking at what you've got. Actually, that's kind of interesting. That with the lace over top, maybe. I don't know. I'll figure out what to do with the lace. And then of course I've got the burlap that has the lace in it. So I do want to make a couple with, I do like this burlap. So let's see, I'd probably do it in strips. So I'd have to cut this into strips. So I will be using the burlap. I've got this chunk of green material. I don't like the color. I'm seeing it show up on there. It's not as fluorescent as it's showing up on camera. It's kind of a interesting color of green. It's just grabbed it because I thought maybe if I wanted to do something else, like maybe the lace, the green with the lace over top, but it's not quite right. But I'm gonna save this green now that I've got it out of my scrap material bin, because I will be using it for Christmas. So I'm just going to set that with some of the Christmas stuff. Something in here. Oh yeah, I've got some more little strips of burlap, because I do want to make a burlap one. I have this bag from Sage. It is a burgundy burlap, so I think maybe I will also cut and make some strips out of this and make a burgundy burlap one. And I have a couple pieces, because I know the sweater stuff is really big. So I've got a couple pieces. A few years ago I was cutting up some old knitted tops that I had that I don't wear anymore. I was turning them into other things. So this is the turtleneck part. I don't know if the pumpkin will actually fit. Oh, this will actually cover a pumpkin. It might just cover a pumpkin. So I was kind of playing around with this already. Like, it's not going to be able to cover the full bottom, but it will cover the top. So I think I'll make one this color. And then I have this other sweater that I had. It was this blue one, and this is the sleeve. And I cut the sleeve in half, and I think I can cover 2 pumpkins. So I will get 3 sweater pumpkins. So I'm going to work with, that's an important little thing that just fell. Okay, so I'm going to start with these sweater pumpkins first. So I'm going to turn my camera down. All right, I'm back. So I've got my bag, the Sage bag. I've got it cut up into strips. The ones with the words I cut skinnier, and I'm going to start with the ones with the words. Now I just kind of mixed up my 2 piles here. Don't know what my puppy's finding. She just knocked something over under my feet. Okay, so like I said, I've got the ones with words, and I cut them extra thin. And then I've got the ones without words. So you can see the difference of the thicknesses. They're just randomly just cut up. Set that aside. And then I have this piece of burlap here. I cut it in half, and I'm going to do 2 quick, easy pumpkins with this chunk of burlap. I hope this chunk is big enough, because I realize now that I cut it that it had a cut, has a big chunk cut out, so this may not work on one. I'm just going to cut this off just so it's more even. And for this first one, I'm just going to take the stem. It's easy to pull off and pull the price tag off. And then I'm just going to center my pumpkin on the material. I'm just going to make sure that it will fit. Still, yes, it will. So now I'm just going to take my scissors. I know I'm using these are my fabric scissors. I don't want to punch. I don't want to cut into this. I almost did. I'm just going to grab these other scissors. I'm just going to cut out a bigger hole if I can. Probably would have been better to grab my craft knife, which I actually have one sitting in front of me. Cut out the center part. There. See, it's quite easy. Just cut out the center part, and I'm just gonna get these bits gone again. All I'm gonna do is just tuck this burlap inside of here. I will be adding a stem in a moment. I realized I cut that hole really big, and because it's cut so big, this piece of burlap is actually a little too small. I'm going to grab this other larger burlap for this one, because I cut this hole quite big. Let's see. Just gonna pull up all these sides here. I'm just, oops, still I'm pulled it crooked. Just gonna wrap it and pull it up. Pull it in. It and pull it up and in, and I have things I'm going to be using for the stems. I think because I cut this hole so big it's not working. I'll save this for a different one. I'm just gonna set that aside. I'm just gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna cut the hole just a little smaller. Just cut that hole a lot smaller. That'll probably work a lot better to stuff this in, yeah. Then I can pull it tighter and really stuff it in. This is the way I've seen a lot of people do these, is just with this material, and they just pull it and push it in. I'm just going to grab, let's see if I can get this to push in a little further. Although because it's burlap, the end of my paintbrush is getting caught in the little spots of the burlap. Just gonna pull this, tuck this one in. I will have to use some hot glue to finish this one, but then I will find my little wooden stumps that I have that I was going to use to cover these. But there is that one little pumpkin. I will work on this one, and same with the other one, because I'm going to do two with this burlap. I'll set that aside. Now I'm going to do, I've got these ones are going to be quite easy, because this is just a sleeve off of a sweater, and everybody's into these sweaters, and I know this blue is probably not the right color for everybody's decor, but I like adding other colors in my decor just to give it, you know, something unique, something to stand out. And I know I had this on here because I had all three of these done with these already, just testing to make sure the size works. Why I can't get this one over, I don't know. Maybe because I tested it on a different pumpkin. I don't think pumpkins are that much smaller. Who knows? Maybe they are. Maybe there is one that's a little smaller than. So I have these all done. I'm having trouble. Okay, I'm just going to set this one aside and work with this one off the camera, because I just, for whatever reason, I'm just not able to get this sweater to stretch. Oh, there. Now it's starting to. It was just starting it, because this is the sleeve, so this is right at the cuff of the sweater. There. Just got to keep working with it, keep pushing it in. Just got to keep pushing this down. Keep pushing this in here, because it will work, because I had it done. I want to make sure I cut off enough material. All right, there we go. I've got it there. Okay, so now I've got my hot glue, so I'm just gonna glue this sweater into place, except I forgot it's a sweater, so it's got the holes. So I just glued my finger. I've got my paintbrush here. I'm just going to use it to put this in place. And these don't have to be perfect on the bottom. So I'm gonna put all my pumpkins just in a basket and just have them stacked. Okay, so there's the bottom of the pumpkin. Now here's the top, same thing. Just gonna put some glue here and just glue it down in place. This one, I kind of want the top of this one to look a little bit neater, so it looks more like the top of the pumpkin. So I'm just kind of gluing it into the center in itself like that, so then I can glue my chunk of wood on top. Although I'll just stick this in for a second just to see. Even that looks okay for now. I just need something to push down to hold it in place. Why not use what I have in front of me? Okay, so there's that one. And I got another one here, which is the same thing. It'll be another blue sweater one. It's gonna be a lot easier to do because this is more of the top part of the sweater or higher up. Let's see. I find it easier to glue the bottom. I'm just gonna make sure I get enough stuff up here. I've got enough up here, and I've got enough down here. Oh, my glue sticks are in front of me today for some reason. I'm gonna say I don't remember where I learned this trick, but I put a little dab of hot glue on the glue stick and then put it in. Then your glue stick will actually stick to the next glue stick, even though if it's not quite lined up and ready to be in that chunk of the glue gun. I forget what YouTube channel I had seen it on. I thought it was on one, and I can't find her channel. So either I've got her name spelt wrong, or maybe I've got it wrong. But it was just a technique I'd seen on somebody's channel, and I've been using it ever since, or almost every time. Sometimes I'm in a hurry crafting and I'll forget to do that, and then the glue stick falls out. Then I'm like, oh yeah, why didn't I just glue it in place? And it won't do that. But I will say sometimes when you do that, if you put too much glue on that end, you'll get glue stuck up in here, and then the glue gun doesn't want to move, which is what I think I may have done this time. I think I may have put too much glue on there because now it's stuck. Oh, now it's going. Yeah, it just, too much glue went crooked, and then it was having trouble getting past this point. So I got to be careful doing that too. Don't want too much glue on the end of the glue stick to glue it in, because you don't want to make it harder for the glue stick to go through. But just enough so then the two glue sticks kind of stick together. There. See, this will be the bottom because of the way it folded. This will be the top because it's a lot nicer. That's the one thing, is when you're doing this, even if you glued it upside down, so if once you take this off, both sides of the pumpkin pretty much are the same. I mean, once you got material on it or whatever you're covering it with, if you were to mess up, and if this is supposed to be the top but it doesn't look as neat, if the bottom looked better, then flip it over. It's once you've got it covered in whatever you're covering it in, nobody's gonna notice. I got one more of these sweaters. Now this one, I know I don't have enough to go all the way around the whole bottom because it was just a chunk of the sweater. So for this one, I'm just gonna glue to the edge and leave it like this, just a little more around. But this has this so I'm just gonna leave this one for now because I do have to do some extra cutting because the way that I didn't realize that Just got this extra little flip, but it's the same thing. So I will just pull this material down, glue this top part up here, and then cut off some of this extra double bit of fabric and glue this to the bottom. So this bottom's not going to be covered, which is okay because I said I'm just using scrap material or whatever I've got around the house to make my pumpkins. So now I'm going to actually do this one with these burlap strips. This is the one that I think is going to be the most fun to make. So I think I've got my strips. Again, I'm trying to make sure that my strips will at least go from the top around the thickest part and to the bottom. So I'm just going to put some glue at the top here and stick burlap strip on and bring it around and glue it at the bottom. So I'm going to put it actually on the burlap itself. Going to glue these strips on. Like I said, I'm starting with the ones that have the words just so I can do my overlapping and then you won't see the words. But again, it's just crafting with what you've got on hand. These are just extra ideas I had that I wanted to do something with these pumpkins for quite a few years and just haven't seen anything that I liked. So I'm just gonna, again, I'm gonna finish this off camera because it's gonna take me a while to glue all these strips, but that's all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna, you know, do half and then do the quarter. And so I'm just gonna go in small sections gluing around. I'll come back when I get more glued on here to show you the finishing, show you how I finished it, and same with the other ones. When I've got them all glued and ready to put the stems, then I will be back for that. All right, I had fun with the tissue paper craft. So I've got this little truck with the pumpkins in the back. I got this sign here that says thankful and blessed. I had to turn it to myself so I can read it. So it says thankful and blessed, and I've got the little pumpkin. So I'm going to start with the pumpkin. So I'm doing the napkin with the glue stick and the lighter. So I had so much fun. So first I'm just going to cut this off, and I'm going to get rid of this little burlap bow, but I'm going to keep, or not burlap, raffia bow. I'm going to keep it because I think it will look cute on some of the other stuff I've been working on lately. I'm just going to see if I can get this bit of hot glue to come off of here so I have a flatter edge. If I can. No, maybe not. I don't want to cut myself trying to get this off, but it's going to be in my way. There, I got it off. Now, I know the napkins work good, so I wanted to try with a few other things, but I'll show you what I've got. So one is, I have these napkins. I got them from Dollarama for $1.50, and I get 18. I like the way that this package is, and I don't have to rip open the whole package. Pull one of these out because I want to see what this looks like, if it's printed all over or just part of the napkin. No, it's printed all over. Let's see. I don't think this has enough of a pattern for this, but what I liked was the pumpkins on here, and I thought the pumpkins might line up perfectly with the pumpkins on this truck. Let's see, do they might. I mean, I have to cut them out a little bit, but I think I can get the pumpkins, the little orange and blue pumpkin off of here onto this truck. But for this one, I wanted to try something else because these are just napkins or paper napkins. And I don't even know what they're made out of. They don't say. They don't tell you what the napkins are, but then I've got this tissue paper. And I always felt like the napkins and tissue paper always felt the same. Like I have done where you take the back part off of the napkin and you get this white, like it's like a tissue paper. And I have in past kind of used this white tissue paper from the back of napkins in gifts for close family, like my kids or my husband, just so I don't have to go buy tissue paper. It's not something I would wrap it up in a gift and give it to like a friend, but or I'll use this stuff as like, you know, like the bases covering, you know, like doing dessert trays and stuff for Christmas and stuff. It's just reusing this napkin one, you know, this white pieces. Like, what do you do with it other than just throw them out? So I have done that. So I do find that it does feel the same as tissue paper. So I'm curious if this tissue paper works the same way as the napkin. So I want to do that with this pumpkin. So I've got two kinds of tissue paper here. They're both from Dollarama, both $1.25 each. This one's a darker orange, and this one is the neon. So the regular ones you get 20. This neon one I get 8 sheets, but I really want to use this neon one on this pumpkin. Now, I'm not going to need a lot because I only want to cover the raised part, because I want to keep the rest of it still the wood. So I'm just going to open up this. So I don't need a lot of it. I'm probably only going to need, let's see, like one little square or rectangle, I guess, off of here. Might need 2. Maybe I'll cut myself up 2 of these little squares. Yeah, see? And then I can just, because I wanted to keep this still more wood. So let me see if I need to cut this up. So I'm going to use the X-Acto knife, and I can get nice little thing. There. I can just kind of follow my edge here that I kind of created. Okay, so I'm just gonna, just using the glue stick, I'm just gonna glue this on. And this glue stick is empty and dried out. It happens. You don't put the lids on all the way or they just get used up. I'm just going to trim this extra little piece off because I know I don't need it. Just put this on here. Just make sure that I've got glued all the way to the edge. Same thing. I'm just going to lay this here. I'm just going to do a rough trace out so I get that basic shape, like of a crescent moon. There, and same with the other side. It would have been easier for me to do, trace that and get all 3 done before taking the whole piece of tissue paper apart. But I've only done this technique I guess a couple times, but I've never done it on one where I want to do just a little chunk of it. Okay, there. So I'm just going to glue these pieces down. I'm grabbing the lid, not the glue stick. Okay. Upside down. I think I did. I've got it glued upside down. One thing is that it's very forgiving with the glue stick versus like Mod Podge. This paper here is brighter on one side. Okay, there. Got it glued down. Okay, well, I'll glue this other page down in a second, so I can finish this when I'm getting ready to do the next part. But this one here, this one that says thankful and blessed, I'm gonna do this in, let's see, how would this napkin work on here? I'm just gonna lay this down this way just because I can't quite see where, if I get the pumpkins on or not. No, I will not get the pumpkins. That's good, or very few of the pumpkins, because I don't really want the pumpkins. I want more of the leaves on this one, so that will work good. So I'm going to try to tear this apart. Just one little corner. Just have to get it started. There. And then this is this big one. So now I really have to go over all these letters. The easiest way to go over these letters is actually like you're writing it. Oops, look at that. This doesn't have that last letter fully cut out. Okay. Start with this right here. There. Just going to make sure that it's glued down well, especially at the corners. I'm just going to flip it over because I think this one up here isn't fully glued. Now it is. My sign kind of got bent bringing it home. So now I'm just going to trim off this extra stuff. And I noticed that about a little chunk of the one letter that doesn't have anything. So I'm just going to cut this piece here off. And I'm just going to move this around. I'm just going to get some more glue on this one spot here. And just put a little bit of this right here. Trim this off. There. I'm just going to let this glue dry, and then see, that one needs a little more glue in there too. So I'm just going to make sure these are well glued down. And then I will be outside to burn those. And while I do that, I still have this truck. So for the truck, I want these little pumpkins. See if the pumpkins will fit on here. I think they will. So I'll get 2 orange pumpkins on there. Unless there's this little blue one. Let's see. Does the blue one fit? Too bad it wasn't the small one and the big one. I can't even take it apart because it's one solid piece. Let's see. Some way I can get the blue and the orange. Maybe I can. Okay. There. Like that. There, that will work. I got this one figured out. And then for the rest of the truck, I'm gonna do it in the other orange that I have. I'm gonna trim off some of this extra stuff here. And go like that. There. Then I can always add a little more chunk of the stem to the top of that in a second. There. So I'll get an orange pumpkin and a blue pumpkin. Unless I make them both orange. Maybe I'll make them both orange. It should be a little easier to line those up. So I'm just going to cut out this orange pumpkin for there, and I'm just going to trim out this orange pumpkin for the other one. Okay, and now I need to do the truck. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to take this other piece of this tissue paper here, and I'm just going to have to, I guess I'm going to have to piece it on the, as I want it, wherever it's raised is where I'm going to put the tissue paper. So I will finish with this, although I think I'm going to set this truck aside for now and just try to figure out how to piece this one together, because I don't want the wheels orange. You know, I want the truck orange, and then I want this part here and this part the other shade of orange. So this one I'm gonna have to think about for a moment, but I'll be back when I get ready to do the next step on the other ones. All right, so I've used up all the strips with the white wording and filled it in so there's no orange showing. Now I have to use up the rest of these strips to cover up the words. So I said there's still a few places we can see some of the orange. I'm not so worried. I'm just deciding which way I want the front, which I want the back, because I'm just going to concentrate on covering just the one side. I don't think I have enough of this burlap cut. I do have another sage bag somewhere. I just don't have it cut up in pieces. So I think I'm going to go with the one that's got the most white on it and start on this half. So all I did was just get another glue stick in here. My glue stick is covered in little frayed burlap and twine pieces, but I'm just gonna start with the widest piece. I'm just gonna put some glue on here, and all I did was just start up here at the center. I'm just gonna bring it straight down around, covering up as much of that white as I can, and then just gluing it here at the bottom. And I've had to cut some of this bottom part off because it was just too thick. But now I know right where I want the pieces to start and end, so I get a nice, more finished look. I'm just gonna glue a few more of these strips on here just to cover up more of this more white. Like I said, if I run out of this, I will do something else to cover up the white, but I like how it's kind of layered already because I've already done 2 layers to cover up the orange. And like I said, I probably could have got, I know I could have got more burlap if I would have taken the time to undo all the stitching, but I'm not worried about that. So I'm just gonna glue these over top of wherever I see a lot of white. And then I'm just gonna snip this off because I want a nice flat finished bottom. So I don't want too much bulk at the bottom, especially this piece has the seam on it. Then I'm going to finish the bottom with a nice piece of something, just so you don't see all the cut pieces of the burlap at the bottom. But up the top, I'm making now all the pieces come into the one spot, and that's where the stem is going to be. So I've almost got this done. And I like how I've got a couple of these really frayed pieces. So I get this like fringe look every once in a while. I kind of like that too. Okay, so I'm just going to keep covering up a few more of these gaps. See if I have any more flat. I think I'm all just down to just the end pieces as well. But I like how I'm getting this where it's more defined raised, and then you've got where it'd be more like lower part of the pumpkin now. Because I'm just trying to get covering up most of the letters now. And there's still, like I said, a few spots where I can still see some of the orange. I'm not worried about that at the moment. I will deal with that at the end because I can always just slip this piece over and glue it in, or I can always just grab what I had done for some of the really skinny pieces. But I just took another little tiny piece like this that I'd cut off and just kind of weaved it in. Snip this off because that's right where it's going to meet up with this piece here at the bottom. I've almost got this pumpkin done, and I've got the other, so I've worked on 4, 5, the other 5. So I had done 6. 6 was the ideas I had. I still have 1 pumpkin. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do to finish that one off. I have so much material and stuff here, and just trying to get some ideas. Just a couple more pieces to glue, and I've got this one done. But I'm really liking this burlap bag pumpkin. I've got lots of little glue strings, which I will deal with later after I get it all done. I'll go through and try to find all the little burlap strings and, you know, cut them off, or not burlap, the glue gun strings, that's what I mean, not cut them off, with a hair dryer. Just have to go over them with the hair dryer and they just melt. So I'm just trying to get these pieces to kind of end so it looks so much like a neater finished edge here on the bottom. Don't know kind of why it kind of slid on me there. Trying to do a straight edge, but it slid, so I got a slant, so I'm just going to turn it a little bit so it fits into that side. But then when I did that, it makes this side kind of stick out just a little bit more. And this piece here, I can see there's a little bit of white. Oh, I guess I got it tucked in there and there. Yeah, see this one here, there's a little bit of white sticking out on both sides. So I think this would be the time when I would take one of these smaller pieces. So I decide which way I want to pull this over. And then I would just take a small strip and just weave the small strip in between these pieces. And like that. And it hides all the white lettering. So I think I'm almost done with this, although I have to fix that because that doesn't, this piece I tucked in, it was too thick and bulky to actually fit in there looking neat. But I will find something, and maybe I'll just glue this, if I can get this to slide. Just put a little bit of glue in here and just squeeze this. I was doing that too. Just gluing any of the stuff that's underneath where it's kind of layered, where it just doesn't want to lay flat. I just kind of put a little bit of glue and just kind of tuck the pieces kind of together. And then it's kind of hides some of the lettering and more of the orange as well. Like I said, that's just a big clump of glue because it all squeezed out of the burlap. But I'll just get my hair dryer, and then this will just kind of come off. It kind of just melts, and then I can kind of get rid of some of that bulky glue gun mess. But I think I've got it almost done, enough that you can see that I've just got a couple more pieces of burlap and just a couple little pieces underneath where I can just kind of stick a few pieces in and out. So there is this one. So I just got to figure out which was the top. This was where this was the top. This is the bottom. So just have to put the stems on. So I have to go and grab them. But there is this one all over here just beside me. So here is the orange one. See, I said it was not enough of this material to cover the whole bottom. But once it's laying flat, you won't even notice that the bottom's not covered. I mean, if you wanted, I can always get another piece of something and cover the bottom at a later date. But for right now, it's good enough because it's going to be in a basket or something. And here's the one blue sweater. It still has the little thing in it. I'll take it out now because I don't need it, but it was holding the top in place. So I knew which was the top and which was the bottom. So there's that blue sweater. And then here's one of the burlap ones. So I took my time, I undid the burlap, really worked hard to get the burlap all tucked in a little bit nicer. I was pulling it up and gluing it in any places that just didn't quite want to fit because the piece was not big enough to wrap. That I cut because I wanted to do 2 in burlap. So I've got 2 in the blue sweater and 2 in the burlap, 1 in this orange sweater, 1 in this purple or burgundy burlap bag that I cut up, and I still have this one that I had cut the hole out too big, but I've got another idea for this one. I think I'm going to just use this orange material for it. So I'm just gonna move all these other pumpkins aside for right now, and I'm just going to cover it in this orange material here. I still got to take the price tag off. There we go. And like I said, I know this has a hole or cut. It was cut out. I don't know why, because I said I got it at the the secondhand store. So I don't know. It was just an odd piece of material. I was looking for fun craft materials for my day home kids to use, and I saw this, but nobody seemed to like this color. So I'm just going to use that at the bottom. I'm just going to do this like I'd done the other one. I'm just going to wrap it and tuck all this inside. It's not quite as neat as I'd like it to be, but I will work on that and get it a lot neater. So I'm going to leave it like that. I do like the design on it. I mean, it's orange, it's got this interesting design. I still think it would be fun just to take this lace, because I always wanted one of these done in a lace. Let's see, take a chunk of this lace and just do the same thing, just lace over top, and just stuff this lace inside as well. There, and then keep some of this lace sticking out if I can. Actually, I kind of like that. That actually looks really neat. There, I think I will keep it like that. Looks kind of interesting with the orange and lace. We'll have to fix it because something got stuck on the lace. But there we go. So then I'm just going to go and grab the stems, although I think this one, I kind of like having this lace standing up. It kind of looks like that would be the stem for this one. So I'm going to leave this one like this. I still might stick the piece of the stump in here, or stick or whatever it is. So I'm going to leave that like that. I'm going to go and get the stems, and I will be right back. Alright, so I'm back with this truck. I've thought about what I'm going to do. So I really would like to make this truck this orange color. This is the actual orange tissue paper. Like I said, I had to stop and think about what to do. So I'm going to cut out a small strip of this tissue paper here. I am going to do this truck. I want the raised pieces different color than the lower parts. So I'm going to start with the lower parts of the truck. So I'm going to be piecing this together. So I'm just going to cut this like this so I can get the door and the hood of the truck. So I'm going to grab my glue stick. I'm not quite sure where it rolled to. Oh, there it is. I don't know how well this is going to work because I've not seen too many of these type of crafts. I've never seen anybody using like these multi-layered boards to try this technique on. So I said I'm just going to try it and see what I get. That. I'm going to use my craft knife, which I know was also just right in front of me. It just seems to have disappeared as well. This is what happens when you're doing multiple crafts at a time and you get pieces in front of you and just... So just want to cut that out. Okay. And then same with just right here. Take that piece out. I'm just going to cut this extra bit of tissue paper here off. So I do have to cut some of these extra pieces off. So now the only part that I'm not going to have anything in is there's this tiny little space way in here. I think for now it's just going to have to stay as the plain wood. Okay, so I'm just going to glue this. This is going to be tricky because glue stick barely fits in there to get the glue. I'm just going to glue this rest of this truck. Oops. There's just this last little edge here. So I'll put some glue along here. I'm just going to glue this tiny little piece on. Let's see, oh, it's just enough to fit on there. Now I did know from my other crafts that you can piece the tissue paper together and it does work, or the napkin together, and it does work because I've done a couple now. Okay. There, so we got that done. So now I'm going to take these pieces out. Oh, I was going to do the pumpkins, right? I still have to glue the pumpkins on. So I might as well do that too because it's just such a small piece. Now my hands are really sticky. Oh. I just broke my glue stick thing. That's okay, I'm almost out of glue anyways. There. Just gonna stick one pumpkin on right here. And then the other pumpkin on, let's see, right there. Just a little bit of extra stuff off there. So now I've got the truck and the thankful and blessed. And oops, I guess I forgot to glue one of these pieces down. Okay, well, oops. Thought I had finished. I guess I didn't. So I'll just glue this one quickly. I thought I already finished this one before I went on, but I guess I didn't. Okay. Quickly just glue this piece on in place. So now I'm just going to go outside by the fire pit just so I've got somewhere safe to hold these so I don't burn anything. I've got my lighter here, so I'll meet you just down at the fire pit in just a few moments. Okay, so it's really windy out here, so I don't know how well this is going to work. There we go. Oops. As far as I can tell, this tissue paper just doesn't want to burn at all. Kind of disappointing. I thought that the napkin works good. Okay. I'll try this truck with the... Could just be that it's so windy out here. Because my lighter's having trouble starting to. Just too windy. Oh, see? The tissue paper does work, but I think it's just too windy out here. I may have to come out tomorrow, but I really want to get these done. I've got like no flame on my... Okay, I think it's just too windy out here to get these started, but you can see around the truck and around the pumpkins it's starting to work. So I guess I'll have to come out either with a different lighter or come out when it's not quite so windy. All right, plan B. I'm in the garage, not near anything. And if I can get this to start to light, then yes, the tissue paper works just like the napkin. I think I just may have a little bit of too much glue, so it's kind of sticking. Just have to make sure the tissue paper is not stuck to the other part of the wood. I don't know, I think I might, actually my lighter might actually be dead. But now that I do know that the tissue paper will burn, like the napkin, I'm just gonna go and grab a different lighter. All right, so I got a different lighter and seems to be working. The thing is if this is stuck and it just doesn't want to, oops, doesn't want to burn if the paper is actually still pretty close to the wood. I'm just gonna have to. Okay, I knocked my camera over. I'm just gonna get my X-Acto knife and just lift up this paper off here. I think it kind of glued where I didn't want it to be glued. I'm going to try that again. Lift this up. There. Except see, every time the tissue paper touches the wood, it automatically just stops burning. I'm just going to take that off and try just to burn just around here like this. Try to do around the pumpkins. I just need a newer lighter. Oh, there we go. See, now that worked. Oops. Just gotta clean up around this pumpkin edge here. Just trying to clean it up. Did something wrong. So now for the slits, I'm gonna try if from the back, I'm gonna poke this stuff out from the back. Let's see. Go. Make this a little bit bigger of a slit. There. Now what I did find when I was cutting out that dragonfly one, the tiny detail, it actually worked a lot better if I just took the X-Acto knife and trimmed it from the back later on. But there is the truck. I just got a big chunk of glue right there. That's why that is not coming off. There we go. I got that chunk of glue that was stuck in the door frame part. And then, let's see, I'm just gonna do these pumpkins. I'm just gonna lay this down. I'm just gonna take the X-Acto knife and just slice where the small detail is. This is what I found worked the best when doing that dragonfly and the butterfly, was if I just took my time with the small details with just the X-Acto knife and just carefully cut those lines. And then, okay, I'm gonna have to fix this. This extra piece of tissue paper is still stuck where it shouldn't be stuck. Okay, now I'm just gonna take and just go over top of the lines. If I can. Like I said, my lighters are just not working. But I've got enough of the truck that you can definitely see that it's an orange truck with the pumpkins in it. And then this was the pumpkin. It kind of took me quite a few tries to get this to a burn. It was just because none of my lighters are working tonight. Now I've got this one, and this one is the napkin. So I know the napkin is gonna burn really fast. So I'm just going to do that now. Just gonna, okay. I didn't want to go to the small lighter because I don't want to burn my finger, but I guess I kind of have to because I really want to get this done. So I'm in the garage. I'm not near anything, although the garage is starting to smell like burnt stuff. But I do like the way when it burns, it just cleanly burns around. And then this stuff here, you can just brush it all off. So I'm just gonna go to the back side, and I'm just going to randomly put holes in every single one of these. Oops, sorry, not even in the view of the camera. I'm just poking holes in the back of all of these. And then I'm just going to there. That's why it's safer to use this, because then I don't have to get so close to it. Hi, baby kitty. My cat is here seeing what I'm doing. The other thing was, I was curious if I burn from the back, if it would help. If I can get this to light again. There. If it makes any difference, if I go from the back, if I can. It makes no difference. It goes the same. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep doing this one, and I'll be back because this is gonna be tricky to do. With this little lighter, I just don't want to burn my finger. So I'll be back when I got to this one fully finished. All right, I'm back in my craft room. So here is the pumpkin. Looks pretty good. I'm going to find my orange bling wrap, and I was going to put some bling wrap in this lowered section and some twine on here. And I had that little raffia bow that was on here. I think I might just end up putting it back on, or I might add some more ribbon strips to it. And here is the truck so far. I really like the way that napkin with the pumpkins really worked on here. So I'm just going to take the X-Acto knife and just kind of clean up some of the tissue paper. And then for these other raised areas, like around the wheels and the back part of the truck, I'm going to use the same bright orange paper I had used on the pumpkin, just so my truck's got a couple different colors. And I have black bling wrap, so I'm going to put some black bling wrap in on the wheels, just so it'll have a little bit of shininess to it. And then here is the other one. This was that Thankful and Blessed. I've got a few places, I said my lighter was not working, so I'm going to have to go and get a new lighter, because I've got a few places where I couldn't finish, because I still want to finish this truck. So I'm going to have to go out and grab a lighter uh, later, and so I've got about 6 lighters and none of them were working for me. So I will just gonna finish this. I'm just going to, it's the truck. So I'm just gonna turn this camera down. I'm just gonna find my X-Acto knife, and it was right here a second ago. Maybe that is what fell on the floor. Just one moment. What I heard fall was actually the screw. It's out of my desk or my chair. I'm gonna have to figure out where it came out of. The X-Acto knife was in the garage. So I'm just gonna finish this up and then I will figure out where that screw is from. Oops, I don't wanna do that. Don't wanna pull too hard. I just wanna kind of get along here. Just get some of this stuff off. Oops. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Kind of tore it a little. Okay, that's just not doing what I wanted it to do. That's okay. I will fix that in a moment. I guess I should have just left that tissue paper or napkin on here and not done that. It was glued in place. I should have just left it glued. Okay, so now I'm using this bright orange tissue paper. Just cut another chunk out. I'm not going to need, maybe I'll just cut 2 more squares out. I'm not going to need a lot to finish up this truck. Grab a glue stick here. Just going to put the glue down. And then I will get the tissue paper cut out. And then I will have to run to the store and get a new lighter. Oops, and look at this. I missed this little chunk yesterday. This little front end of this bumper has to be the other color. So I've got a little piece of it here. And I will trim this excess away. Where are my scissors? There they are. Things are right in front of me and I still can't quite see them. I'm just going to trim this extra bit away. Okay. Let's see, there's some of this other paper from yesterday. Let's see if that's enough to cover this wheel. Yep. And enough on this one to cover this wheel. Don't want the extra little piece there. Just going to make sure that the tissue paper is stuck down good. Okay, now just going to cut little rectangles out of here. This piece is big enough to cover here. There we go. And this piece here. And I need one more rectangle for the back part of the truck. There. I've got that all attached and glued in place, and I will just have to set this aside for now until I get a lighter. and just finished doing this truck. But in the meantime, I'm going to just take this one here, and I'm just going to take the X-Acto knife from the back side and just cut around anywhere where it kind of burned but not fully. And I don't have the right mat in front of me. I didn't realize that. Where is my... I don't know where my other board went for cutting with the X-Acto knife, but I don't really want to cut through this. This is like a foam placemat. Maybe I'll just push this up here and just kind of go on the glass. Don't really want to do that either, but I just got to get this kind of cleaned up. I think it's mostly done. There was just a few spots where the tissue paper, or this is the napkin, where when it burns, it kind of burns into like a solid hard ball, and it just doesn't want to trim off. It just burns into a little hole or a little black blob, or like plasticky. So I just have to go and cut that out. Just making sure that all the... And then I will, when I get a lighter that's actually working, I will re-burn around here just to make sure it's all nice and clean. But there, I think that one is now done. There was just a couple little spots here and there. So now I'm just going to set this one is done. So I'm not doing anything else to this one. So just a couple little places. And then I did try to burn from the back side in the little holes, and so then I get all the chard at the back, not so much on the front, because I had noticed that when I did my other ones was that I got a lot of chard at the front, and it looks kind of rustic farmhouse kind of thing, but that's not my style in my house. Like I said, I don't mind a couple pieces looking that way, but that's not my particular style that I like. I like clean, crisp, clean edges. I don't like dirty looking things. And to me, some of that farmhouse stuff, to me, it looks old and dirty and not good. It doesn't look like it would match my house. So I'm going to take back to this one. I'm going to do the bling wrap. Now, I was looking at my bling wrap, and I cannot find my orange bling wrap, but I've got all these other colors here. And I have a stack of them, like this many rolls of it, and not one of them is orange. So I'm just trying to see. So I don't want to do the purple. I might do the silver. I don't want the blue, and I don't like the gold. I think I like the silver over the gold. Or I do have the light pink. But I'm just going to run downstairs and see if my orange bling wrap is with my ribbon. So if I can't find the orange bling wrap, then I'm going to use the little silver. So just give me one moment to run down and see if it is with my ribbon. Yes, I found my black and orange bling wrap. They're all downstairs with all my Halloween and fall ribbons that I haven't brought upstairs yet, so I've just went and brought them all up. So I've got a couple different ones. So I've got, this is this one black one, and it's actually not bling wrap, it's actually the sequence. So it's just a very thin row of the sequence. I'm not going to use that one. I just couldn't tell which one was the bling wrap and which one was the sequence. So here is my orange bling wrap, which I have used. So I don't know how much is left on this roll. And then of course I got the black. So I'm just going to open up the black because I'll probably use, because I do want to use the black on the car or the truck. And these ones were from the Dollar Tree. So they're on the thin on the spools. About $1.25 or maybe $1.50 now because the prices are going up. And then I have these big ones like this that I buy from Dollarama, and they're about $3 for, you know, a pretty good amount of it. I don't have the packaging anymore because I've opened them all and been using them. So I don't have the packaging to see how much you get, but you definitely get more on this roll than on this. Also just the thickness of, you can just tell by the thickness, I think it's like 4 times the width of this sheet. So this is probably the better deal now. Like these were a good deal when they were $1, but then they went to $1.25, and now I guess they're going to be $1.50. So I think I'm going to go to buying these for $3 whenever I can get them. So I'm just going to move this bling wrap back in its box out of my way. I've already got my glue gun. Yeah, it's plugged in and turned on. Sometimes I forget to, you know, turn the, I'll plug it into the power bar and I'll forget to turn the power bar on, but I already did that. So I'm just gonna see how wide I need to come around here. I need a strip of 3. So this is in a row of 5. So I'm just gonna cut some off. Just see if 3 will work, or if I should just do a row of 2. It's easier. Maybe I will just do the 3. I can always just up here or just trim a couple off, so I will need 3. So I'm just gonna cut my bling wrap out. Because this side I will need 2 for on this side here. And this bling wrap is pretty easy to work with. So I just need to go to about here. And then this one from here. I'll give myself an extra row or 2. Okay. So then to work with this, I'm just put a little bit of glue on the back of the bling wrap. If my glue is going to come out. And then just start to just kind of press it in, and it curves. So this is a little bit tricky because it wants to curve, because it's the pumpkin's curve. So I always find it tricky to line this up sometimes when it wants to, you know, when it's not a straight thing that you're gluing the bling wrap on. So you just go a little slower and just slowly, you know, work your way around. A little too much glue in the center there. That's okay. I will just take my hair dryer, and if it's too visible, I'll just take my hair dryer and just kind of melt some of that down a little bit. Just trying to make sure I'm not getting too much glue in the center of the gems. Just want to have the glue on the back, and I just got it right on the tissue paper. This is all I'm going to do, so I'm just showing you how to do this one, and then I'll do the other one the same way, just off camera, just so I can get it done a little faster. It is fast to do, but it's just, so that is the one. So I'm gonna do this one, and then I'm gonna do the bling wrap around the whole outside, and I'm gonna cover this with twine or jute rope or something. I haven't quite figured out what I want to cover it with, but I just kind of want to give it that a wood looking thing. So I'll be back when I get this all done with the bling wrap. All right, here is the pumpkin. I know I said I was going to leave the stem and do something else, but I really like the bling, and so I decided to cover the stem with the bling wrap as well. So now I don't think it needs a bow because this is the little raffia bow that came with it. I don't like the way it looks. I had another piece of ribbon here. I was going to make a bow, but I just really like the way it's just clean and simple. So I'm going to leave this like this. So this one is now finished. So like I said, I still have to go and finish this one. So now I can't wait till I get the black bling wrap on this one after seeing like the orange and orange. I can't wait to see the orange and black. So I will set that aside and I will just go and finish that. I guess I gotta run and go get a lighter. So I will be back to finish this in just for you guys for a few minutes. So just give me a few moments on that one. So today I'm just in my craft room doing a whole bunch of crafts, and so this is one of the ones that I want to redo. This is this pumpkin I've made quite a few years ago. So I'm just going to start to take it apart. It's pretty easy. It wasn't really put together with too much of anything, just a bit of hot glue here and there. Easy to pull apart, I think. One thing I like about hot glue is you can just pull it all apart and then you can reuse some of the pieces that you have and glue together. If you don't mind a little bit of, like blobs of dried hot glue here and there, which I usually don't mind because you can always just recover it. Now for some reason I cannot get this to come there. Having trouble getting this big blob of glue undone. I don't want to cut the ribbon because it's right in the center of this ribbon, but I've got it really well glued here. So there we go. I'm gonna have to tear it off the paper. That's okay. It's just a little bit of construction or scrapbook paper, whatever I was using a few years ago. But I can still, oops, this is stuck. I can still take off and reuse the bling wrap, and the leaves are still good because they're barely glued on. Set those aside. I just want to redo this little splatter screen pumpkin I had made. So this is simple. It's just the 3 splatter screens. I've got them tied with a little bit of wire. So just a few of them are just kind of tied with some wire. I think I'm going to have to redo some of the wire because they're a little loose now. So then for the 2 at the back, I've got the handles going down and bent out to the back. So that gives it a nice base or support. Then the one on the top is the stem. Now I'm going to keep it covered in this jute for now because I can always cover that because I haven't quite decided exactly what I'm going to do. But I thought it'd be fun to do something really fun and simple. And so I have this pack of Halloween scrapbook paper. I got it from Dollarama. It's $4. And they have some, like all the patterns here on the front, some of them have the foil in them. So I would think it would be fun to do the two at the back, just plain, and then have the one at the front with the foil. So I have to decide for my back. So I've got this one. That one's okay, but that's not the one I wanted for the back. And then of course I could also do like the Jolly Roger symbol, but that's not quite what I was looking for. I did see it. And you've got like this one here, where you got like the spiders, but I like the purple with the black pumpkin, so that's what I'm gonna do. So the two at the back, you get two of each picture. So the two at the back, I'm going to use these ones. Oops. Paper is flying everywhere. Okay. So I just got to figure out how big my splatter mats are. And just have to trace and cut out. First, I just want to see. I'm just gonna check something because of the way that these fit on here. You know, I'm gonna just. I think I can only get. I think I can get away with using only half a sheet because I've got this template here, and let me just see. No, I will have to use 2 full sheets, but I've got. I want to have it in a way so then I get the most of the whole pumpkins being shown. So if I go here, pencil, pen, something. I usually have stuff here, and I don't know where my pen went. Okay, well, I've got this. Just gonna give myself, I just want to know kind of where I need to cut. So I'm just gonna take this little toothpick thing here and just kind of give myself a trace line like that for now. And then I'm just gonna cut the 2 out. I'm just gonna move this down. You don't have to be perfect because I will be trimming them to fit anyways. Approximate size. And then do the same to the other one, but I have to have the round going the other way. So I'm just going to flip this around and just trim this. It's just a quick little template, and I will do any further cutting when I know the exact size. Just a quick little rough cut. These back and make sure I put the right pumpkins on the right sides. Fits like this. This one fits like this. Like I said, it's don't quite have it lined up quite right because there's a there. Like that, and then from oops, I'm gonna have to attach it. Gotta attach the paper, but it's just and I like the size. And if I pull it around from the back, you can see that there is a lot of overhang, which I kind of like that extra overhang. I kind of like that overhang. It gives me a nice bigger pumpkin. You'll see more of the paper like that. And now I gotta decide what I want on the front one. Now when I do the front one, I do have to cut it so it just fits over this frame. So it'll hide this frame, but I don't want it to go too much over because I really want to see the purple. Then what I saw was the pattern I really wanted. This here. That's the one. The foil with this faces. It looks like Jack Skellington's face. So that is the front. So I will cut this out as a circle, but there. So that will be my new pumpkin. Very easy, simple. Do anything you want. Now I just have to cut this one out to size. So I will actually have to get my pencil and actually trace it because I want it the right size. Just gonna make sure I get the most pumpkin pieces. Okay, well, I guess it's not, this paper fits pretty much the same size. So I'm just gonna cut this paper out the same way I did the other one, I guess. I'm gonna use this. Need to there. So I see my guidelines as my circle. I'm just going to cut my circle. This is just a very easy craft. I've already done, like I said, a couple of years ago, I already did most of the work. So now it's just redoing it for a new year. Now, I got my circle cut out. And all I'm gonna do is just, banging everything, just going to glue these pieces together. I'm going to take these two back pieces out for now, and I'm just going to, I got this lined up right, I'm just going to push this down like this so I got it centered. So all I'm going to do is just take some hot glue and just put glue around this frame here. So once you've got the basic frame made, you can just redo it every year, just using paper and just coming up with different ideas. Glue gun wire is not letting me do that. Oops. Can't move my glue gun. Extension cord won't move any further towards me. That glued on. It looks a little crooked. It could just be the way I've got it sitting here on this table. I think this is also has bent a bit. Okay, and then these, same thing. I'm just gonna slip these in here, behind here, and then I will glue them from the back as soon as I get them lined up. Ooh, stuck to my finger. Do this. There we go. Now I've got to even these out. I've got it lined up right at the top and right at the bottom. This one is stuck. There. There we go. So there is the new pumpkin. Now, it's not quite right. Something isn't quite right here. I'm at the back, so I'm gonna have to play around with the way these papers are centered because they're not lining up at the back. I'm just having trouble pushing one through. When I push one through, then the other one is sliding up. So I'm just gonna go and glue these two pieces on, and then I've got to do a little bit of trimming because it's up too high up here, because I need it to look like a pumpkin, so I want it to be more rounded. So I will be back when I got the paper cut a little bit better. All right, so I've got the paper glued in place. So this is the back and this is the front. I like the pumpkin paper and then the face paper, and it's just all shiny. And then for the stem, I had a couple ideas and I wasn't quite sure what I was gonna do. But I have just move this out of the way for a second. I have a piece of this fall mesh stuff left over from a project I did a couple of years ago. So I've just cut it a little more even. So I'm just gonna cut this so it's Just a little more even here. Let's see if I can figure this out. 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, there is 10 rows on here. Okay. I guess the rows are a little crooked. Oh, here, this is where I had to cut. I knew there was something here that I had to fix and even out. I'd seen a piece that was just kind of loose and just, I couldn't find it. So all I'm going to do is just kind of fold this in half, kind of like doing like a quick roll up of it. So I'm just going to pinch it like this so I get this big bow effect. So this will make the nice stem of the pumpkin. So I'm just going to bring this here. I'm just going to move my camera up. There. So I'm going to come from behind and wrap it around the front. So I'm just going to do a loose tie here. I will secure this later with hot glue, but I just want to see if I really do like this, just because I was playing around with it and I kind of like the way it looked. I want to see how it actually looks when it's all attached before I actually go to glue it in place. Just want to make sure it does look like a nice stem, and yes, I do like how this is looking. So I will glue this in place, and then I'm going to add the ribbon that I had on here before, this piece, because I like the colors on here. It's got the silver and some gold, so I'm just going to get this in half. Didn't quite work. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this folded in half and it's just coming apart more on me. Okay, so I'm just going to do the basic simple little fold in half and then just pull it through on itself, kind of like you're tying like a scarf, like that, and just have it hanging down for now. So I did like when I had it before, where they just kind of come out on the side. Kind of helps define the sections of the pumpkin like that. So I'm just gonna glue this into place after I play around with it, if I like that or not. I haven't fully decided, but I think this just needs something, and I kind of like that. So I think this is how this is going to be. So I will just get this straightened out because I don't have it quite even, and I'm going to tie it a little bit better, and then I'm just going to glue this onto this paper like I had it before. So I consider this one finished for now. So I'll come back when I get that all glued in place. You don't need to watch me glue ribbon or string and stuff onto other paper, but that's how it's going to sit, and I can just play around with this some more and get it to look like a nice stem. So I'm just going to set this aside. I've been doing so many crafts at the last 2 days. I just want to get all these finished. But so these were these ones. So this one, I like it. I fixed it so you can actually see it says thankful and blessed. I still might take a Sharpie and just redefine around some of the letters. I wasn't sure if I want to do that or not. But for now, I'm going to say that this is the napkin on the little board from the Dollar Tree, and I like how it looks. So that one is done. I'm going to set that one aside. And then here is the pumpkin that I did with the orange tissue paper and the bling wrap. And then here is the truck. I finally did go and get a lighter. So there is the truck with the napkins for the pumpkins, and then the truck is 2 different shades of tissue paper. And then I put the bling wrap around the tires, the tire well, the windows, and this little indentation part here. So there's the little truck. I will say The tissue paper does burn like the napkin. It just, the flame is so much higher than napkins. The flame was just like this high versus the napkin, and it took longer for the tissue paper to burn. But I'm going to play around with the tissue paper and just give it another try. Maybe with something that's like, well, this one here, trying to do, well, even both of these, they were like a 3D where you've got wood piece on top of a different wood piece. And so trying to just do in small sections. I probably am going to try the tissue paper probably with another one that's a larger one like this, where it's just a very simple, I mean, it's not that simple, it's still quite detailed, but it's all one width or like one thickness, not in layers like these other two were. But I really do like how these have turned out. And I was doing the pumpkins, so I'm gonna have to do the stems on my pumpkins. I'm gonna bring them all here. It's 7 of them, so I'm just trying to get them all in front of me here. And then I've got my little bag of the little wood stumps. So I got these from Dollarama for $2. And it says you get 24 pieces. So there's 24 little stumps in here. I think there's probably enough to get each one of my pumpkins a stem. Just gotta grab the last 2 just so I can get these all finished. I'm just gonna grab the different stems for the pumpkins and just figure out what size I would like to glue on, how thick or thin I want, because this has got an assortment of sizes here. Let's see, this one is a really big one just because it's, and then this one here needs one, so I just need a little skinny one. Just looking for something really nice and skinny. There. Okay, now I'm just gonna set those stumps aside. I'm just going to glue these all in place. Glue strings everywhere, that's okay. I'll just put the glue on the stump instead, because this one's a little bit trickier to glue on. I like having the different sizes of stumps on here, or I guess little, be the little vines or whatever. I don't know what you call the end pieces. Just kind of pushing it down so it kind of looks like it's actually coming out. And this is just the styrofoam pumpkin, so if they break or crack, it's not a big deal. I've had these pumpkins for a few years, just never really knew what I wanted to do with them. There. And this last one. I probably don't need to do a little stump in here because it's got this lace, but I think I will just, maybe I'll put it from behind. You can see it. Well, maybe I will just stick it in here. So I'm just going to see if there's one that's got a lighter color. Let's see, that's kind of dark. If I get one that's a little lighter, just kind of blends in with the lace a little bit better. Let's see, yeah, this one here is a little more white. There. So it still has the little stump end, but the lacy stuff still comes up. So I've got my pumpkins done. I've got everything that I was working on for now, I think has been done. So when I get all this stuff, I'm going to bring it all out to the other room so you can see the final product of everything I've been working on. So I'll see you in just a few moments in the other room. All right, I've got everything finished and I've kind of set it up on this little side table in my dining room. So I've got the 7 pumpkins I've made. I got this was the burgundy burlap bag, a chunk of burlap, a sweater sleeve. This was that weird orange material. It felt kind of like a shower curtain, and then the lace over top. Then this is another sweater. And the other chunk of sweater sleeve, and another chunk of burlap. And then there's the thankful and blessed, and the pumpkin sign, and the little truck sign. And over here, I'm just gonna move this pumpkin for a second. So here is the finished splatter mat pumpkin I made. So I just took the this deco mesh stuff with the leaves on it, and I just kind of like wrapped them around and kind of glued them here and there so they kind of make the big stem. And then I have a big space up here, so I just had one of these little another deco mesh little thing I had made from a previous craft, and I still have a few of these that were just left over, so I glued it on here. And then this was that 3-colored rope. I decided the gold or copperish color worked best rather than the other 2 colors, so I just wanted to keep it kind of simple. So there we go. I'm just gonna move these little things back. Oops. Oops. I don't remember quite how I had this set up, but no, this burgundy burlap bag, I kind of like some of these fringe edges on it. I know there's a few places where you can still see the orange. As much as I like that fringe look, that's the side that I guess I still have to put some in there. I thought I had it all kind of covered, but I guess I missed a little spot. But this was the front that I liked the best. So I'll just kind of put my pumpkins back here. I guess I can stick this pumpkin up here for, oh, if it's gonna sit, I don't know, just, okay, so there is my little crafting things I've been working on for the last 2 days. So that's 7 foam pumpkins, 3 cut out pieces, and my pumpkin splatter mat. Oh, where is the light? Okay. I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's been watching and enjoying my videos and subscribing to my channel. And I will see you all in my next videos.